everyone, it's Allison here, also known as Lasan Faye, and I am here today with another Zen Doodle with me video. And I want to apologize for being late uploading the previous video. I was traveling and I thought the video uploaded to YouTube before I left, and then I found out after I was out of town and away from my computer that it had not. So it's up now, but again, I do want to apologize for being late with that. Just as a reminder, this is for the tangles that are presented in the Zen Art Challenge. And that challenge is hosted by Heather over at Mindful Creativity with Tangles. And feel free to join all of us on Facebook, just for some fun. So that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and get started with this week's tangles. The first tangle for this video is called Fracas, and it is by the Jane Monk Studio. And I'll include a link to the source down below. So the way you want to start this tangle off is to create kind of an asterisk shape using slightly curved lines. So when going from top to bottom, left to right, and then along the diagonals. And once you have those in place, you're going to want to come a little bit inside of the lines that you drew and make a little V shape that follows them. Alright, so now within those little V shapes, you're going to want to make some thicker curved lines. So to do that, I'm going to use a slightly thicker pen and have the curve dip towards the center. Just like that. It gives it a little bit of three-dimensionality. And you want to repeat that on all of the little V sections. Just like that, we're done with Fracas. Kind of makes me think of a spider web in a way. I think it's really pretty, and hope you enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and move on to the next tangle. This next tangle is called Glazed, and it's by Poppy60 over at Poppy's Pen Picks. And the way you want to start with this one is to make yourself a grid. Like so, and you can make this grid to fill however much space you need it to. And about a third of the way into each square, you want to draw another line coming down. And from there, within now this smaller rectangle, about halfway up, you're going to want to draw a point from the edge of the initial square grid that you did into the little corner now made by the new third way in line. So from halfway to there, and also from the top to there. just like that. And then you want to go to the upper right corner and draw a line from that corner to where the other two lines meet. Like so. Then what you want to do is from where your third way through line and where all of these lines are meeting, you're going to want to draw a line from there, slightly at a downward angle, until it meets the previous line that we just drew. And you also want to draw another line coming out from where everything's meeting towards the square grid. And for me, it ends about 1/3 of the way up. Once you've done all of that, what you're going to want to do is make some swirls within the largest part here. So just make a little spiral. It comes out and go until it touches both edges. So you do that in one part of your little block and then in the other part as well. And repeat that in all of the spaces. And just like that, that's the main part of the tangle. You now have like all these empty white spaces and you can choose to fill them in however you want. I actually kind of like the blank look, so I'm going to leave it like this. But you can see in the instructions off on the right that there are plenty of options for how you could choose to fill this in. But I'm going to leave this as is and move on to the next tangle. The third tangle that I have for you guys today is called Gust, and it seems to be by a group called Joggles. And I'll include a link to their website down below. So for Gust, the way you're going to want to start doing this, I'm going to do it from a corner going out. You can do it from a side, but you know, just do you. So what you're kind of going to want to do is, as you come out, kind of do a little bit of a wave and then circle up and around. And with this one, you're going to trace back what you did and connect everything back up. Just slightly further away. Except you want the two ends to meet. And you kind of just repeat this as needed in order to make a full image. I think this is where I'm going to stop. You just kind of want to let it be organic and do what you want, throw curves where you want, and just fill it in. So it's all a matter of personal choice with this one, but the same idea of just coming out and hooking and then coming back in, that whole thing is consistent across all of them. So that being said, let's go ahead and move on. This next tangle that I have for you guys today is called See You Dad, which is based upon the Spanish word for city. And as you will see, it kind of looks like a city. So what you're going to want to do in the first step is kind of make this little step block going across. So you have pieces that come up, pieces that are down, but it's a bit of a square wave as it goes across the page. And after you do your first one of those, pick as many as you want and add a little C or a U to it. Kind of give it a little dome, or you could even add a V. Just to provide some architectural differences. And then after you've done that, go ahead, come in with your next round. And again, just repeat it. And come up. And over. And that's as many rows as I'm going to add. But now that I've added in all of the rows that I want to add, I'm going to add some windows to these buildings. And I'm going to use a different pen for that, slightly thicker pen. So that way I can just come in and do little dash lines for a couple of windows that are in a row, or a large filled in square for a very large window, pair of lines. And just like that, I kind of have my little city buildings that are all right next to each other. And I'm going to leave that as is and let it be the cute tiny little city that it is, and move on. The next tangle that I have for you guys today is called Mirror, and this one is going to involve taking mirror around a corner, but you could take this to just be a straight line. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to create a rounded corner, and we can do that by starting at one corner, coming up, rounding to do a 90-degree turn, and coming into the other corner. Then what we want to do is come a little ways down so we have enough space, and repeat that same process. And for me, I find it easier to start at the bottom and go up when I do these curves. But just like that. And so once you have your outline done, you're going to kind of follow a bit of a tangent curve here. Come out like that, and that's actually going to create a bit of a fold when we fill more of it in. So from here, you're going to want to move a little ways in from the edges and add a second line. Just like that. And with this last one, it doesn't quite come all the way up and over. Instead, you want it to vanish about halfway through the curve on the corner there. And from here, about halfway between the two inner lines on each part, you're going to want to create this small little squiggle line that goes through that middle there. Just like that. And from here, the next thing that you're going to want to do is to create lines that go up and out from the squiggle line until they meet the edges that you've previously drawn. Just like that, we have mirror around the corner, and I think it's really pretty, and I'd love to use this in a future piece that I do. So I'm gonna leave it like this, not do any of the shading on here, but if you feel like you want to do some shading to go with this, feel free, go ahead. That's kind of the point of all of this, is to fill it in and do what you need to do. And I'm going to go ahead and move to the next tangle. Okay, this next tangle is called Quib, and it is from Constant Contact. So one of the people who's done a lot of the tangles that we've seen previously. And let's just go ahead and dive on in. And for this one, in order to get more space, I'm going to take advantage of the diagonal. And what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to do this little C shape in each of these two corners here. And from there, I am going to connect these two spaces by kind of drawing these curves going back and forth between them. Again, this should be very organic, just like Gust was. So add as many curves and things as you like. This is going to be the total that I add, and once you've added as many as you like in the little C spaces that we've previously created, just go ahead and come back and fill them in. And again, you know, add as many things as you like, add as few as you like. And this is where I'm going to be with mine, and I hope you really like yours. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the final tangle for today. The final tangle that I have for you all today is called Jump, and it's by Jeremy's Artorama, and I'll include a link down below. But to go ahead and get started with this one, we're going to start by making a little zigzag line that goes all the way across. And we're going to mirror that just below it. And one more time. Then from here, we're going to go down a little bit and mirror it again. And again, do two close mirrorings. Once we've created our zigzag lines, we're going to come in and draw vertical lines that come out of every point. And out of every divot. once we have all that, we can kind of choose to fill this in however we want. And the way I'm going to choose to do that is I'm going to draw a line that connects the two end pointing points together. And from every other space that I've managed to create, I'm going to fill it in. And just like that, we're done with Jump. Pretty happy with it. It's interesting. I definitely like to experiment around with this one a little bit more in the future. Anyways, I'm going to call that it for this tangle. All right, that is it for this week's Zen Doodle with me video. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you enjoyed the tangles that we made together. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more, please subscribe. But otherwise, I will see you all next week. And in the meantime, have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you later. Bye.